Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is all about Pele. Pele, one of the football's greatest players and a transformative figure in 20th century sport, who achieved a level of global celebrity few athletes have known, died on Thursday in Sao Paulo, Brazil. He was 82. Let's discuss about what made Pele a football legend. In his 21-year career, Pele scored 1283 goals in 1367 professional matches, including 77 goals for Brazilian national football team. Played 4 World Cups. Those are 1958 World Cup, 1962 World Cup, 1966 World Cup and 1970 World Cup. And he won 3 out of those 4 World Cups. And he also won 10 league titles with Santos, which was his club team. Now let's talk about his international career. Pele's first international match was a 2-1 defeat against Argentina on 7th July 1957. In that match, he scored his first goal for Brazil aged 16 years, and he remains the youngest goal scorer for his country. Now let's talk about 1958 World Cup. Pele made it into the world football scene as a 17-year-old in the 1958 World Cup. He was at the time the youngest player ever to participate in the World Cup. In the semi-final, Pele scored a hat-trick, becoming the youngest player in the World Cup history to do so. On 29th June 1958, Pele became the youngest player to play in a World Cup final match at the age of 17 years. He scored 2 goals in that final as Brazil beat Sweden by 5-2. It was in 1958 World Cup that Pele began wearing a jersey with number 10. Now let's talk about 1962 World Cup. When the 1962 World Cup started, Pele was the best rated player in the world. In the first match of 1962 World Cup in Chile against Mexico, Pele assisted the first goal and then scored a second one to go up to 2-0. He got injured in the next game while attempting a long-range shot against Czechoslovakia. This would keep him out of the rest of the tournament. The substitute was Amarildo, who performed well for the rest of the tournament. However, it was Garrincha who would take the leading role and carry Brazil to the second World Cup title after beating Czechoslovakia at the final in Santiago, Brazil. Now let's talk about 1966 World Cup. Pele was the most famous footballer in the World Cup during 1966 World Cup in England. However, Brazil was eliminated in the first round, playing only 3 matches. Now let's talk about 1970 FIFA World Cup, which was the final part of his trilogy of World Cup wins. After being fouled out of 1966 tournament in England, he was the fulcrum of a thrilling attacking team that swept to the title in 1970. Scoring the opening goal in a 4-1 win over Italy in the final. For more than 60 years, the name Pele has been synonymous with soccer. He played in 4 World Cups and is the only player in the history to win 3. His legacy stretched far beyond his trophy haul and remarkable goal-scoring record. Pele's last match with Brazil was against Yugoslavia on 18 July 1971. A mere goodbye to the eternal King Pele will never be enough to express the pain that the entire football world is currently embracing due to his demise. Pele will always be remembered for the great moments over his career, his goals, and of course, titles.